Good morning. This is June 1st, and I have been asked to address a few issues. Not only are we in a pandemic, now the entire world is getting outraged at our inequality. And many are seeking to maintain the status quo. And many are blaming others and are rebelling. This is all natural. But if you cannot be out there rebelling, let us examine why and what we can do. And I think it's very important to understand what we can do. Number one we can do is pray. And we have a beautiful universal prayer of peace that I say every day, and every class and everything that I start, we start with the universal prayer of peace. And really, when we're saying it, say it together and think about what it is saying. Because we need to pray for the whole world, not just for something that we need particularly. So, oh Lord, whichever Lord you have, it doesn't matter. There's only one. However you wish to see the Lord. Oh Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three worlds. May peace be established in the three bodies, everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and beautiful things. May our ears hear truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God. May God never leave us. Om peace and love. Om peace and health. Om peace and enlightenment. Om. For the world to change, for us to change, we need conflict. We need to suffer. Because if everything is well, there will be no change. Know that to be truth. But inequality that is happening in all of our systems, total inequality, has only one root cause. And if people would understand there's only one root cause, then we could be working on that. And everybody needs to be working on that. It is the most important thing to work on for every individual and every human being. Why does one need to feel superior to another being? Only because they themselves do not have the proper self-esteem. Because they themselves feel inferior. Not consciously necessarily, but subconsciously, at least. And this is something that has been promoted. So you can't blame us, you can't blame the population, because it has been promoted. It has been used that we have been disempowered by the churches. We have been disempowered by the governments so that we can be manipulated to serve a purpose. So you have to understand why things are happening. And you also have to understand that there are changes now, and I've said that for many years now, that we are going into a change, and so all of these things are happening now, and they need to happen. And there will be quite a few sacrificial lambs, but without that there is no change. And if you understand that you need to empower yourself and empower everyone you meet, anytime you disempower by a negative word or a judgment or whatever, you're disempowering another human being. Not only yourself, but you're disempowering another human being. And if you disempower another human being, you are just as bad in a different way. Understand that you need to empower yourself. You are part of the divine. How can you disempower anyone else because they are a part of the divine? Everyone is part of you. Everyone belongs together. The whole world is one. Without God's energy, nothing can exist. Without Durga, nothing can exist. Understand that we're all one. And we all have that beautiful divine energy within us. And we need to release the feeling of disempowerment. And the way to release that feeling are a couple of ways only. But the most prominent way is to serve others. The easiest way is to give a helping hand to another being. Because once we give a helping hand to another being, what comes from inside of us comes compassion and love. And when that compassion and love flows, what happens is that your divine self comes in and gives you energy, and gives you purpose, and gives you love, and makes you satisfied. But we've been seeing me, 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 me. No, we. That is what is needed. And it's not that difficult. Go out and serve. Go out and help. And then your inner self, your divine self, will become part of your nature. Once that comes, there will be no need to put someone down. And know that the people that are putting down and are suppressing are also in the desire to uplift themselves. They are just showing us where our weakness is. And it's not just the police force. It is each and every one of us has to be looked at. They are just the catalyst to get us to look. Because we're all, nobody is immune to this. It is more blatant when it is seen in a physical form, but we all have the same feeling. We need to empower ourselves and empower others. There is no feeling of lack when we empower someone else. As a matter of fact, you should feel so positive about empowering another human being that you feel that, oh wow, I did something for the Lord. May our bodies be divine instruments. May we hold our hands together and circle this world. And that's why this beautiful vision here of everybody circling the world, holding their hands together and helping each other. Amidst all of this chaos, we can come out triumphant, but without showing our weaknesses. And it has to be done this way. And there are always going to be sacrificial people, the perpetrator and the perpetrated. Both are sacrificial lambs to show us what we need to work on. We have all been sequestered and been in our home, and we're beginning to feel that we need to internalize more. And then this happens so that we can go further and deeper and further. And how can we change? Yes, there will be people that need to come out and protest, but then begin to protest within yourself and say, this is something that I need to watch out for. You can protest all you want, but if people don't change, it's not going to make a difference. The protest has to be there. Not the violence, but the protest. Because we must make our institutions responsible. Yes. But again, you can't blame anyone because this has been promoted by the institutions. So understand that nobody is the villain, because we're all part of the same. Some are more obvious than others, but we're all part of the same. We all need to put somebody down, including ourselves, to make ourselves feel better. No, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Look within yourself and know that you could not create your own life. Know that you could not live right now. Know that you don't have that kind of energy. Only the divine within you has that kind of energy. And if the divine is within you, then the divine has to be within every living entity. And I have said it to you before, in every atom there is consciousness. Divine consciousness. So nothing exists without the divinity. If nothing exists without the divinity, how can we think that we are better than someone else? This is something that has been pushed into our mind by institutions and governments in order to control us. We have to rebel against that. We have to follow control. That's not a problem. Freedom is from inside, not from outside. You can be free and be sequestered. It's not a problem. Freedom isn't because you take off a mask. That's not freedom. Freedom is being able to be within yourself and feel good about yourself and follow protocol. That is freedom. And you will only protest if you feel you don't have freedom, if you don't feel it within you. And within you, you must feel it, because within you, you ought to understand that the divine resides within you. And if we don't understand that, then we cannot continue. So the most important thing is to understand God resides within us. God isn't out there looking at you and judging you. That is not so. God is within your heart. God is within every soul. God is within. And if I bring out the divinity and the God power within another human being, I have served the Lord. If I crush the power down through criticism, judgment, etc., then I have gone against the will of God. So what are we talking about? Sins. Yes. We do it every day. Maybe not so blatantly. And don't tell me that people, that you are not prejudiced. Everybody is prejudiced in some form or another. Because it is something that has been ingrained with us. And in order to release that prejudice, we must change and be aware of it. Each and every one. Because when you send out an energy of prejudice, no matter to whom or what, it generates more prejudice. And we have to change our mind force, our thought force, so that if we unity force has to be changed. A strong force field of thought becomes an entity. And we take the strong force field of thought, that we have unity with everybody. Because prejudice isn't only against a race. Prejudice is against all sorts of things. That everybody is one. Is all part of the divine. When we have that strong thought power, that becomes an entity. And let us all get together and make this wonderful thought form an entity that is so powerful that it can overcome. And it will be, that entity will be also the same as the protesters, because it will then become a force field that will attract similar thought forms and give them power. Because remember, you can have a thought and you can want that, but it needs power to become part of your nature. And so let us create a thought form of unity, a thought form that we're all one, that we are holding our hands around the Mother Earth, that everyone is loving everyone else, and that no one, no matter how good or evil you think they are, has to have prejudice. Know that each one of us has a certain amount of prejudice, and we must fight. And this is the way to fight that prejudice. We are one. We don't need to put another person down in order to feel better for ourselves. We do not lose power when we empower someone else. That is the fear a lot of people have. If I empower, they will take over. No, they won't. Empowering has to come from the heart. And the empowerment to the other person is not to empower their ego, but to empower their love center, their heart. So, this is something you need to work on. Everyone needs to work on their prejudice. This is what's coming out now. Everybody needs to examine their mind and understand that this is not something some people are doing and you're not. Maybe not that obvious, but there's subtleties. So, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, internalize. Find that power within you, that divinity within you that shines so beautifully, that is so beautiful, the power that you have within you to change the world. and by changing the world, make someone else, empower somebody else within their heart center, within their divinity. And let's create a wonderful thought form that will empower others. And know that you don't need to disempower yourself. You don't need to judge yourself. You don't need to judge anyone else. You don't need to judge the force. You don't need to judge the government. You don't need to judge everybody. That's all understandable. Any organization, any social situation wants to always suppress somebody in order to improve themselves and make themselves better. It's not needed. We can all coexist peacefully, wonderfully, beautifully, with various differences, and everybody is happy to go their own way. So let us find the unity within us. Let us find the prejudice within us and let that go. And let us go out and every day try to empower someone. It doesn't take much. It just takes one little word. And I want to give you an example. A very simple example that Oprah Winfrey, and I saw this show, I don't know, it was many, many years ago. She brought onto her show a teacher that made the biggest change in her life. And then she explained what that teacher did that made the biggest change in her life. The teacher one day came over to her and put a hand on her shoulder and said, "You are such a beautiful child." One little sentence changed Oprah completely. She never heard that she was beautiful, and it empowered her. Do you see how easy it is to empower another human being? It doesn't take much. You are such a beautiful child. And that is the truth. Every one of us is such a beautiful child that has gone astray and that needs to come back to the source. So nobody is the villain. We just have gone away. We're all beautiful children. And to empower another human being doesn't take much. But first we must empower ourselves in order to understand that you have it and that you don't need to feel superior to anyone. We need to not feel superior to anyone. No one is superior to us. We're all on a journey back to our source, which is the Lord. And some people are in this part of the journey and some people are here. And we're all traveling. And if we're here, we have been over here. We have been there. Everybody travels the same journey. Just because you feel that you are better than they, know that in some lifetimes you were they. So no one is better. It's just that some people are further along. That's all. And don't you want to help that person because you were helped to get here? It's the same thing. So let's empower ourselves and understand everyone is on the journey, but not everybody knows where the journey is. So we need to help. We need to put things back into perspective. And it's only because of disempowerment that people need to put someone down. It is not needed because that will not make you more powerful. That will cut off to put someone down to feel more powerful. The only time you criticize another human being is because you think you know better. With other words, you're superior. That doesn't mean you can't correct, but to feel, to judge, yes, we are not superior. We're all one. Some people are on the journey they have not learned yet. Let us all help each other, to empower each other, to grow. Just like you take children and you train them and empower them to learn, similarly, let us empower ourselves to become better people, to have self-confidence, to not ego confidence, but divine confidence. Confidence that we all are part of the divine. We are made in the image of the Lord. And we have the power of the Lord to destroy. We are given power. It is up to us how to use it. And we have used it for destruction, then we have not used it so much for the growth. And let us take this power that we have and let us use it for growth. Because may we be divine instruments. Once you become a divine instrument, your heart opens up and your love flows and you feel like you need to do something for the Lord. And wow, what a wonderful feeling that is, to be in the service of the divine. So let us take this moment today and the situation that is happening and begin to examine ourselves and see that there are places we have lack and that we do take the time out and put someone down in order to feel better. Maybe not as blatant as that, but that is what is needed to bring our attention to it. So know this. Let no one die for no purpose. Use this as your guide. Use this situation to bring strength to yourself, divine strength. And let's all come together and feel that we are one. And we need to empower every single soul so that they don't need to empower their ego, but their soul self, their divine self, their higher self, whatever, their spirit, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. But that needs to be empowered. That needs to be seen. And let us all go there. God bless you. This is very emotional for me. Hari Om.